Hey guys, welcome back to the RF Workshop channel. Today's project I'll be sandblasting and hopefully painting this exhaust system for my Suzuki TS200R. It's going to be interesting to see how these dints and dings turn out that one of the previous owners seems to have fixed themselves. The main reason I'm going to be sandblasting them though is because they seem to have been painted while they were still dirty. It's going to be interesting to see how this brushed stainless steel surface turns out. I did try polishing it with different stainless steel cleaners, but it doesn't seem to have done much. So hopefully the sandblaster will give me just a smooth surface that I can then just polish by hand. Without further ado, I guess I'll get this one in the sandblaster and start blasting. Righto, progress so far. That black paint was doing a worryingly good job of hiding all of the blemishes in this thing. I might consider forming a new piece of sheet metal and just cutting this section here out. I have masked the ends now because I thought I'd be able to get away with not doing it if I didn't shoot the sandblaster straight into the holes, but when I tipped it up, half a kilo of sand tipped out of it, so righto, so that's the chamber and its heat shield sandblasted. I think I'll definitely cut that out and put in a new piece of metal there. Otherwise the rest of it doesn't look too bad. So now I just have to sandblast the silencer part of the exhaust. Well, it's the next day, and I've made the decision that I'm not going to cut out this section of the expansion chamber. I don't have the right thickness of metal, and I don't want the inside to look like a patchwork quilt. If I was going to replace this section, I'd have to do this whole area, because there's just dints all the way along the divergence section of the pipe. So what I will do instead is just make it look a little bit better and just get an angle grinder with a flap disc and just try and smooth it out a bit. If I blow through anywhere with the grinder, I'll just weld those holes up. It's a little better. It looks like it's blown through in a couple of places, but they shouldn't be very hard to weld up. I expect the welder will blow through a fair bit just around the edges of the hole because it'll be super thin. So once I find a meaty edge to start off with, I should be right. I might take this opportunity to have a look inside the pipe to see what kind of silencing material that Suzuki's installed. I figure that's been bent in, but that's ridiculous. That mesh in there, I believe, is designed for reducing the ticking sound two-stroke pipes make. But it's so far in that it's a wonder that this pipe even works. I guess what I'll have to do is just weld up the pipe, get it all painted and nice, and then see if this bike has any sort of power band, or at least anything remotely comparable to a modern bike. I think you can get a little bit of a power band effect just from the diverging section of the header. Just the negative pressure wave from here is usually enough to give the engine a little bit more power at a certain RPM range, which is essentially how the expansion chamber on my older two-stroke works. It doesn't really have much of a convergence section. It's just the divergence section where it helps with the scavenging, I believe is the correct word, of the exhaust gases. This is flux cord wire, that's why it looks so terrible. Well, I've been out and about in a bit, got a couple of bolts for the bike this belongs to, so it's a bit later in the evening. But this is where we are now. I think I've got all of the little pinholes and things. The trick ended up being to turn the welder down fairly low and then just do one continuous speed of weld. I've heard plenty of guys say that with sheet metal you're supposed to just have it at a reasonably aggressive setting and then just get in and get out pretty quick. But I think with flux cord wire, if you don't have one smooth bead, the flux tends to get in the way of things. I'll give this a clean and a spray, and I guess we'll work on the silencer part next. We call that good? I think we'll call that good. Wouldn't want to accidentally sit on that. The gloss should go away soon, so you won't see all those little bits of dints and things. One thing to keep in mind with these high heat paints though is most of them don't set hard and scratch resistant until you've run some heat through them. You can use a heat gun, but I'm just going to be careful with it until I start up the bike for the first time. Sorry about the lighting in here, this shed is pretty dark. I can't give you a sound test in this video, but if you're interested in a bit of a series on, well, completing this bike, this is my project bike, click that subscribe button, and hopefully soon I'll have some other videos up of other components being installed and worked on, and hopefully soon we'll have a test ride video. And on that, thanks a lot for watching and hanging out in the workshop with me. I'll catch you guys next time.